Well, we're going to get you the answer here, hopefully. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows joins us now. It's good to have you. Where do the negotiations stand?
Well, I just got off the phone with Secretary Mnuchin. As you know, he had about a 45-minute phone call with Speaker Pelosi, and as they were working together, we've made good progress, and even further progress today. We still have a number of open items that still remain as of today. What we've decided to do is actually work with some of the committees on both the Senate, House committees, the corresponding committees, whether it be on tax or appropriations or health and human services. And so as we get those committees together, they're going to look at some of the language. But I want to stress we're not just down to a difference of language and a few dollars. We still have a ways to go, but I would say that the conversations today were productive enough to continue to have discussions tomorrow, which the Speaker and the Secretary plan to do exactly that tomorrow afternoon.
Where are we on the total size of the package at this point, which has also been a big sticking point and moving target?
It has been a big sticking point. As you know, the Secretary and I have actually increased the offer from the $1 trillion mark that we started with. It went to 1.3, then 1.5. It currently sits at about 1.88. Speaker Pelosi continues to stay at her $2.2 trillion mark or 2.4, depending on what she puts in the package. So there's still several $100 billion apart between the two parties. State and local spending is still an issue that remains largely unchanged and still with a long ways to go. But that being said, what we're trying to do is take some of the policy differences that would be poison pills for Senate Republicans, work with our Senate colleagues, working with Leader McConnell and his team and his corresponding chairman of committees to try to at least get the language in a place that even if we can work on the numbers. I spoke to the president a couple of times on this today. He's been very, very bullish on trying to make sure that if it's just a dollar amount that we're disagreeing on, that we perhaps increase the amount of money that we have for support for small businesses and PPP, that we provide some additional tax incentives for onshoring for manufacturing coming from abroad to the United States, or that we increase those direct payments to both adults and children that have really suffered under this pandemic slowdown. And so right now it's twofold. So it's not just the money, but we're still several $100 billion apart in terms of reaching a deal. So I would think that those discussions hopefully will make progress again tomorrow and perhaps the following day. And everybody is working real hard to try to make sure that we can get some kind of an agreement before the weekend, at least so that we can help set the agenda for the following couple of weeks legislatively for both Senate and House.
Mark, you mentioned there Senate Republicans, and you also mentioned prior to that the progress between Speaker Pelosi and Secretary Mnuchin. Are Senate Republicans now the biggest hurdle to getting a deal over the line before the election?
No, it's a great question. Actually, I think the biggest hurdle of getting a deal still remains Speaker Pelosi. If I were to characterize it in one way, we've continued to offer a number of different options, a number of different compromises, whether it's a small bill that we would add to as Leader McConnell and the Senate Republicans are working on, or whether it's actually increasing the offer from the Republican side coming from the White House. We've done that, but I can say that the Speaker largely has remained unchanged, even though the number came down from her original HEROES Act. I don't know that there were a whole lot of compromises that were made as much as she changed timelines to just lower the total amount of money. And so the biggest stumbling block remains Speaker Pelosi and her unwillingness to take yes for an answer.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.